The Call of Duty Black Ops 6 beta on the Steam Deck. So recently Valve released drivers for Windows for the Steam Deck OLED, so I'm going to be checking those out. UMA VRAM buffer is at 4 gigabytes, so we only have 12 gigabytes of RAM available. Here we are on Gamepass, and if you go to modify installation after installing the stupid Call of Duty HQ thing, you got the Black Ops 6 beta. This will be open to everyone next week, so right now only if you have a Gamepass PC or pre-order the game, you have access to it, so let's get into it right away. So before jumping into the game, we're going to target 60s and 720 at the moment. We're going to show 800p after this one in handheld mode. For below 60 FPS targets like 45, 50. So first things, dynamic resolution with a 60 FPS target, that's my advice. Using any of the upscaling methods still works, but it can still drop below 60, and I think consistently, at least on the Steam Deck, this is the way to do it. Textures on low, basically these are the settings. So yeah, first of all, trying to get 60s, after that we're doing something lower. Welcome to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 beta multiplayer. There is no campaign and zombies, unfortunately. Dynamic resolution targeting 60. And again, it works only on Windows because anti-cheat, so Linux is not an option. Unfortunately, if you play at 720p like me, you'll have a slight increase in performance due to the lower resolution. And we are using dynamic res just to be able to maintain that 60 FPS target as much as possible. And yeah, blown out on a big screen doesn't look particularly amazing when it comes to resolution. Also, those trees have a very low level of detail, at least at the moment. We have all shader compilation. Yeah, those trees there is due to the low setting, probably. But again, in a competitive game like this, well, apart from not using a portable handheld computer, you probably want to play at 60 FPS. We're going to try targeting 45 as well, because sometimes at 60s we're CPU limited actually, funnily enough. So yeah, what do I think about performance? It's pretty close, a little bit worse than Modern Warfare 3 so far. On the Steam Deck, I think Modern Warfare 3 I locked it to 50 or something like that, if I remember correctly. And I mean, I think considering it's a handheld device, newest Call of Duty, again, you need Windows unfortunately, I think it's okay, it's fine. I was honestly expecting much worse considering this is the beta of an upcoming product. And at the same time, we're playing on a Steam Deck 15 watts. It's kind of crazy if you think about it, that it even works properly. But again, the sacrifice you need to do is resolution and settings to be 50 to 60 FPS. And you can also play with the gamepad. I'm using mouse and keyboard because I'm connected to the monitor to show you this without any handheld camera view nonsense, because it looks kind of weird like that. Most of you asked me for the raw footage. Well, here it is. But I'm going to swap to the normal screen, 800p, and you'll see if we can maintain 60s. Personally, I recommend maybe targeting 45. So on the Steam Deck OLED you are at half 90 Hz, and you get a more consistent frame rate as well. So yeah, in my opinion, so far so good. The campaign is probably going to run significantly worse, but hey, this is a beta after all. It's not the full thing. But zombies in campaign is what interests me the most, personally. So yeah, as you can see, it's fine. Some drops here and there. We seem to be, again, kind of CPU limited in some parts, especially when there is multiple enemies attacking you. But overall, I'm pretty impressed. I thought it was going to be much worse, honestly. So let's jump into handheld now. Same settings as before, but now 800p, the native, and well, dynamic resolution. We're going to keep it targeting 60, but we're also going to try a 45 FPS thing. So it's half 90 Hz. Very quickly go through the settings. There we go. So let's get into it. I think this map is a little bit more demanding. Also, by the way, you can see battery life now. We're at 800p, dynamic resolution 60, with the same settings as before. Actually, on the smaller screen, it really doesn't look anywhere close as bad as on the monitor, with the 60 FPS dynamic resolution. Sorry about my reflection, by the way. I tried my best over here. So we get basically 2 hours of battery on the OLED. If you're playing on the Steam Deck LCD, the resolution will drop a little bit lower, but the experience should be very similar. So keep that in mind. Again, this level I think is a bit more demanding than the previous one that I showed you. Unfortunately, I cannot choose the level. So yeah, you can use the controller. You're going to be basically playing with people that are playing with a controller, because this game has crossplay like in Warzone. I wish it worked on SteamOS, but until Activision says, oh yeah, you can play with Linux, we're stuck with Windows. So again, as I said before, it's not perfect 60s. It drops into the 50s when stuff happens. Sometimes CPU limitation, but most of the time is just the GPU being maxed out. Which again, at 15 watts, it's pretty impressive that we can play this actually, in my opinion. So yeah. So now that we target 60, I mean, I'll play like this personally, but some people want a little bit extra image quality or more stability. Well, you can actually lock it to 40 or 45 if you're interested. Again, in a multiplayer game, I'll probably just target 60. But I mean, it's not like you play games seriously, I think, at least not on a Steam Deck. So again, in the settings, let's put dynamic resolution targeting 40s. And in display, if we go to custom frame limit, you can put this at whichever value that you want. So we're going to put it at 45 for the OLED. For the LCD, just put it at 40. That should be good enough. So let's apply the settings. We have a 45 FPS cap. Again, responsiveness will be worse, but we're at half 90 Hz. But when it comes to resolution, we're going to be more consistent. And there are some stutters here and there, but my guess, again, it's just a guess, is that we have some CPU limitation as well. Oh. And also apologies for the gameplay with controller. But I think if you want a higher resolution, which again, on the smaller screen is not as noticeable, 45 is not a bad idea. But there are some random stutters that I cannot explain. And when the final game releases, we're going to try campaign, zombies, multiplayer, everything. It will still require Windows, unfortunately. But what can you do? Activision being Activision. Still, I'm impressed with the results. I was expecting worse, as I was saying before. So next week, this will be open to everyone on Windows. So you'll be able to play it on the Xbox app, probably on Steam as well. So the open beta will be there. Right now it's for people that pre-order the game or have PC Gamepass. So yeah, next week we all be able to play it. You'll be able to play it on your Steam Deck if you have Windows. Otherwise, it's not going to work due to anti-cheat. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. And we'll see what happens on the campaign once this releases. I think it will be interesting. So, yeah. See you guys next time. Thanks for watching.